What's up, everybody? This is Gina Ifoe, the one and only African superstar. Thank you for joining me again live. I have a topic I want to talk about tonight. Before I get started, I just want to remind those of you that are preparing your Our Superstar videos, please get those in at your leisure. Also, big shout outs to the customers, AfricanSuperstar.com. Please head over to the website. Let me show you one of my products. I wear this a lot. You guys have probably seen a lot of these. This is the quad mask. This is one of my tank tops. So it has it on the front and the back. And then you also see down there, the African Superstar official, guys. Tags and all. You see that? So head on over to www.theafricansuperstar.com. Get you some. And I've probably worn this item a good 50 times. The material is really, really good. And stretchy and comfortable. So big shout out. This is quite a popular product on the AfricanSuperstar.com. Also, guys, I want to ask your support for Lady Visionaries GoFundMe currently. I mentioned it on the last broadcast. Also, big shout outs to Wodamaya and African Tigers. They did share the campaign on my behalf as well. So we're trying to get the word out. Please support our sister. She has to travel back to the UK. It's going to be very expensive with all the COVID things. She also has a hotel mandated, quarantine. That's going to be at least 2,000 pounds. So whatever you can spare, because I know some of y'all got it. 5, 10, 15, whatever. Please show some support on this GoFundMe. The goal is 10,000 pounds. So please do help in any way, share it and whatnot. What's up, family? Tonight, I want to talk about this topic. I hope you guys are doing well. What's up, family? Are you in the building? Moderators, you should be able to see the like count. Also, let me know if the audio and visual is on point before I get started. Okay, let me hear from the channel. And is the audio and visual okay? If it is, let me see a number 4. Okay. Number 4, if the audio and visual is good. Big shout outs to African Superstar family. Karen is the first in the chat room. Big shout outs to Happy Companion all the way from Nigeria. I see you, brother. What's up, Q Wright? Good to see you. It's been a minute. Happy to see you. What's up, Samson? What's up, guys? Let's talk about this topic tonight. Thank you so much. Thank you guys for also being on code. Yes. Big shout outs, Hazel. I see you there. All right. The topic is real talk. All right. So obviously that's some slang vernacular among our people. When you really want to stress that something is important, you're going to say, hey, real talk, and then go on with your story. Real talk. Black men and black women don't have time for gender wars, right now, there's a lot of back and forth blame game. This has actually been going on for quite some time in the West. Black men are angry at black women and holding them responsible for some of the things they go through. And black women are also blaming black men and holding them accountable for some of the things they go through. And I kind of want to simplify this topic and let you guys know that both parties have had system failures. Both parties are doing things that are not going to be beneficial. And I think that's the question we really need to ask our people. When you assess your everyday activities, when you assess your behaviors, can we go ahead and admit a lot of our people are very immature? The way they behave is as if they are juveniles. So somebody doesn't want to be their friend, or someone insults them, or someone hurts their feelings. The way a juvenile will handle that. Let me hear from the family. This is going to be the first trivia question. How do juveniles handle problems? How do juveniles handle when their feelings get hurt, or when they're disappointed, or when they get dumped, or something doesn't work out their way? African Superstar family, this is the first trivia. How do juveniles handle problems? Let me hear from you guys. What's up, guys? Please make sure you hit the likes when you're in here. Moderators should be able to see the count. I made sure that it was on. Let me see. Bam. Q Wright has the first answer. The first trivia question was, how do juveniles handle, problems, disappointment, and things like that? Q Wright says temper tantrum. Hazel says some shut down. Wifey says some rant. Yes, these are all excellent answers. Sometimes people begin to lash back out. So let's say wifey starts talking stuff about my sister. She starts talking about my mom. She's like, oh, African superstar, your mom, this and that. And then I go back and I say, well, your mom is this and that. Hazel said they take it out on others. Absolutely. These are some characteristics of how juveniles handle problems. Now, by all means, by the time we become adults, now I know maybe at age 18, you ain't full grown yet. You haven't really had a lot of adult experiences. But certainly by the age that we see a lot of our peers misbehaving in the public eye, misbehaving on social media, certainly you should not still be behaving like a juvenile. And really, if you're a critical thinker, you can see right through the behavior of our people. It's obvious that they are hurt. It's obvious that they have had some kind of negative situation in the past that is creating their behavior. That is juvenile. All right. You guys know here on this platform, I talk about SMP, strategy, maturity, and patience. Okay. That will help you navigate difficult situations. When I also want to tell you, whatever experience, for instance, Black men have had with Black women, that doesn't stand for all Black women. Black women, the experiences you've had with Black men doesn't stand for all the experiences with Black men. And this is how we have been behaving. So let's say Ingrid, I know Ingrid, she's not really good for this example because she's happily married for some 20 years. Let's use somebody else. Let me see who else I got up in here. Karen. Let's say Karen, I don't know Karen's relationship status, but let's just say Karen gets her heart broke by John. Okay? John breaks her heart, and then, Michael comes along, or Kwame comes along, or Diallo comes along, and then Karen starts taking it out on the new gentleman in her lives because of the experience that she's had. This is what our people are doing. This is what our people are doing. So Happy Companion, I also don't know his relationship status, but let's say Happy Companion, when he was in 9th grade, he was like 5 feet, 6 inches tall. And all the girls used to be joking and cracking on him. Look at that short guy, blah, blah, blah. Now he gets to university and he shoots up to 6'3". Okay. Now them same chicks that was dogging him want to get his phone number, want to hang out, want to talk to him. Because of the rejection that he faced when he was, a teenager, now he wants to misbehave on the new ladies, or maybe ladies previous. This is not profitable. This is not productive. You see, and I really want to just promote my peers to begin to examine your behavior and determine, is it productive or non-productive? Okay. This is fundamentals of life. Okay. This is fundamentals. This is actually from me to you. It's like an open love letter. Okay. Because this is how your African superstar navigates life. This is how I've been able to accomplish so many things in my years, is because I'm constantly assessing, my handling of difficult situations, my circumstances, and blah, blah, blah. And I always ask the question, is my behavior productive? Is my behavior helping me to segue to the goal? Or is it not? And I really believe if our people would begin to assess themselves and say, you know what? Is this really helping? Okay, Black women, we know our men have some problems with Black women, right? And some of them are completely valid. As a woman who attended a private school, I remember, you know, some of the brothers that were there, you know, obviously we were in a predominantly white school, and those brothers kind of catching slack from the sisters. You know, if you were kind of nerdy, or, you know, you were kind of eclectic, you know, you weren't that stereotypical kind of jock, you know, macho teenage boy, people would reject you. Oh, he's weird. You know, he's into science. You know, he's a gamer. He's this, he's that. And a lot of our young men, a lot of our suitable, eligible young men, they have a lot of resentment because of those kind of situations. Other situations, such as their upbringing. You know, maybe their mother was not around. Maybe their mother led a life that was not honorable. So now her son feels some kind of way about Black women. Some of these things are legitimate. Some of these things happen. Black women, maybe you actually grew up without your dad around. You know, you saw your mom had to struggle to take care of the family, or the man that was in your life was inappropriate, you know, not the model kind of man that you would want to settle down with, and blah, blah, blah. And you experience that thing. Now you're taking out the resentment on men who may be trying to love you, may be trying to, you know, make you an honest woman. This behavior that we're exhibiting, guys, is not productive. Okay? These gender wars are not productive. Black men speaking in a condescending, you know, fashion to Black women, and Black women speaking in a condescending fashion to Black men. The reality is, guys, we don't have time for these gender wars. We have a lot of issues in our community, and it all starts with who? The Black man and woman. Okay? Could it be that a lot of the dysfunction in our community is directly correlated to the dysfunction between the Black man and woman? Absolutely. So when you find yourself in a situation, you got to ask yourself, is this behavior productive or non-productive? You know, obviously, this is my new platform. Please make sure you subscribe if you're not subscribed. But I've led a very long history of being appropriate and intellectual here in this YouTube space, because I'm always asking myself, and I'm always mindful of my audience and the young people that watch me, is what I'm doing productive or not productive? Is what I'm doing, is it enhancing my community? Is it helping my people? Is it educating them? Is it making life easier for them? Is it saving them some stress? That's the framework, guys. I know it's tempting, for instance, in the social media space to check people. You know, especially when they're completely wrong. You know, they're saying nonsense. They're saying offensive things. Let me tell you how I deal with it as a celebrity YouTuber. Any other content creators that are watching today, I police my comments. I don't hesitate to block or delete, or, you know, I censor. I believe that me coming here on social media is a resource to my people. I refuse to be insulted. I refuse to be berated when I'm doing a community service to my, you know, my community. I absolutely don't have to do this, you know. And I encourage you to stand up for your own mental well-being. There's a lot of things I don't feed into. You know, obviously, some of you guys, you're going to see the new video pop up on your feed, and you're immediately going to be sucked in. You're going to see the title. You're going to see the thumbnail. It's going to be sensational, and you're going to be like, oh, I want to go watch this video. And you're going to walk away feeling frustrated. And you're going to walk away wondering, is this the fate of my people? Because this is fundamental. And another thing I want to add is, guess what, guys? Guess what? If you're looking for romantic partners, you only need one. So that means if somebody, for instance, you're not the interest of someone, let's just say, I don't know, a gentleman named Kevin Samuels. Let's say you're not his taste. He doesn't really matter as long as you're able to connect with the person who is more suitable for you. And when that happens, there's a mutual respect that we can display to each other that makes life easier. You know, must we be getting down, throwing down in the streets? And might I add, it's so embarrassing. Word to the diaspora. Let me tell you, as an international traveler, unfortunately, Black Americans have allowed themselves to be portrayed in a very negative light. And that has begun to be a bit of the perception in the international community. You know, I encountered this firsthand when I moved to the UK, and people that had never interacted with a Black woman who lived in America had all these stereotypical things in their minds about my interests and who I was and how I was going to conduct myself. Because basically we have allowed certain images to define us, and we have also patronized those images. You know? And we are like the only group of people that go to war with our own blood, deny our origins. You know, even those here on the continent, they don't, you know, it's going to be, I actually haven't seen anything to date. Please, if you have something like that, please forward it to me. But I'm yet to see a Ghanaian man insulting and berating a Ghanaian woman, you know, in public for the whole world to see on radio, social media, whatever. We have a regular practice of doing that from the diaspora. You know, we want to degrade each other, and then sometimes we also put non-Black people on a pedestal. Well, that's why I don't date Black men, because you guys are da 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 da, and that's why I don't even deal with Black women, because da 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 da. I'm going to get me a Latino. I'm going to get me an Asian. I'm going to get me a white. Guys, ask the question. That's what I would like for my platform to always do when you find yourself in compromising situations. Ask the question, is my behavior productive? Is my behavior productive? This is maturity. This is the M out of our mission statement. Strategy, maturity, and patience. This is maturity. This is how you cultivate maturity. Okay? You determine the situation you're in, and is this going to be productive or non-productive? If it's non-productive, guys, because we don't have time. We don't have time. You know, the things we do needs to be directed and productive. Okay? That's it. That's the end of all she wrote. Murder, she wrote. So big shout out to African Superstar family. What's up, T-Bone Slim? It's good to see you, brother. How you been? It's been a minute. Also, guys, I'm going to go ahead and pop the GoFundMe link in. Again, this GoFundMe is for Lady Visionary. Please support Lady Visionary. I told her that I would assist in circulating her GoFundMe. So I want to make you guys aware her mother in the UK passed away a few days ago, and she's going to have to travel from Rwanda back to the UK. It's going to be quite expensive. So let's support her and help her with this very difficult time. Okay, I think everybody's experienced loss. We all know what it's like. Y'all got 5, 10, 15, 20, whatever to help this woman with her situation, you know, especially during COVID, added expenses and all that. So let's be a community and go ahead and donate. I donated before I even shared the link with you guys. So please make sure you go and support. Big shout outs to O'Shea Duke Jackson. He donated as well. Big shout outs to African Tigress and Woda Maya. They've been sharing the campaign. So we are all stretching our hands out to assist with Lady Visionary. TT says, back to the topic, she says both sides have to take accountability at this point. Excellent. That's how we squash this whole beef, really. Because see, we get caught up in semantics and we get caught up in this blame game. Yeah, Gina, but they did this. Okay. But what have you done? You know, the adult perspective is going to say, yeah, we both had faults. We both had faults. You know, there are things Black women have done that have, added to the breakdown of our community structure and families. There are things that Black men have done that have done the same thing. And really, realistically, how we rectify this is come to a consensus and say, you know what, our past is really not great. We don't like how things are going, and we're going to turn it around. And then begin to instill this ideology into the next generation. That's something that is critical. Some of you guys don't want to have the conversation and express your preferences of how in the direction that your children should go. You allow them to grow up with false expectations. Okay, second trivia question. Those of you guys that grew up in the West, okay, how many of you guys believe you had false expectations of what life was going to be like for you? Let me see a number 2. If you have false expectations, they actually fed us that nonsense growing up, saying, oh, you can be whatever you want to be when you grow up. Yeah, they left out systematic racism. They left out stereotypes. They left out redlining and housing discrimination. They left out all that stuff. They left out the preferential treatment that whites receive over us, irrespective of how good we are and all that. They left all of that out. Okay, this is an unrealistic expectation. And unless we are conveying that to the next generation, they too are going to grow up thinking that they have full reign of the opportunities because if they work hard. And it's a lie. And we know it's a lie. We should be educating the next generation on the reality of where we stand and guiding them in the way forward. Period. Some of you guys perpetuate this gender war and you got your kids in it. Huh? You busy dogging your ex-husband, child's father, boyfriend, whatever, whoever, right in front of the kids. When I was growing up, okay, there was a thing called adult conversation. All right. And basically, adults wouldn't talk about certain topics in front of children. Some parents also wouldn't use profanity. I know in my house, they wouldn't let me listen to certain music. My dad was notorious that when certain songs would come on the radio, he would just change them. Okay. Basically, certain things are not appropriate to be discussing in front of children. They can't always negotiate the dynamics. And maybe you're just angry. And maybe you're venting about the frustration of the situation you're in. It's not appropriate to do it in front of the kids. You begin shaping their perspective. We all know children, for instance, they do what you do, not what you say. So if you're giving them all this indirect information about, Black women are inadequate or Black men are inadequate, they grow up thinking that. And they grow up having a preference for beyond their people, which is, it carries on all of this discord. So I wanted to come, I've been talking about a lot of these kind of things. It's a relative topic, and it's also really interesting because of the dynamic here on the continent. And quite frankly, if you come with all that Western stuff over here, gender war action and stuff like that, it will make your pathway more difficult. There are already, for instance, some African women that are kind of getting roped into this feminism thing and this slay queen thing. And I'm telling you, the men don't like it. The men will avoid those kind of women with that kind of energy. We've got to understand that at the inception of our survival is community, which means we need to be getting along. And sometimes I think we should just have a very mature outlook on committed relationships, which is, it's not all fun. It's not all rosy. It's not all butterflies in your stomach. It's a commitment. Okay, you know what? We're going to come together. We're going to build a family, and we're going to be invested in this. Understanding why it's important, understanding how it shapes the world of the next generation, and being delicate with that. I'm very proud to say when I think back over my childhood, I really can't recall instances where my parents, for instance, were inappropriate, you know, where I saw them and it diminished them in my sight, you know. And we need to revert back to adults being adults and having that aura. You know, your child is not your friend. You know, you are a steward over their life. You are the one who is molding them and grooming them for their future. It's a very, very serious thing. You know, we don't have time for gender wars, guys. And that also means stop patronizing. From what I understand, I mean, I don't watch, maybe you guys will be surprised, I don't watch a lot of YouTube channels. But from what I understand, you know, obviously there are very prominent Black men that have these whole platforms dedicated to, you know, degrading Black women, and vice versa. There are also Black women that are dedicated to degrading Black men. And what I want to tell you guys is, you know, stop, look, and listen. I've been bringing that back for the past couple weeks. Stop, look, and listen. These people that are perpetuating this, they are also not in happy, healthy, fulfilling relationships. You don't want to get warped into that. You know, Black women dissing Black men like they don't also want Black men. Black men dissing Black women like they don't also want Black women. See, the truth is the Black men wanted the Black women, but maybe they rejected them, or maybe they had a bad breakup or divorce, or maybe this woman was some kind of way and made life difficult for them. Okay, well, listen, you don't got to convey that to every other woman. There may be someone else out there that will do you right and really wants to love you. You know, but see, you're missing out. You're missing out on the opportunity because, you know, you're jaded. So guys, I'm not going to keep you long tonight. This was the live stream I wanted to do. This was the topic I was thinking about, because often when I see these kind of things happening among my people, I just think like, what's the end goal of this? You know, what's the end goal? And for instance, if these people that are perpetuating these gender wars, if they are swirlers or homos or not successful in relationships, guys, they're misleading you, because when you follow that person's advice, that's what you can hope to achieve as well. They can only give you what they know and what they've experienced. If they're not having success, they can't give you success. You know, it's very clear who you should hear and who you shouldn't hear. If they don't have track records, don't follow them. You know, if that person is love struggle life too, why? Some of you ladies are going along with this single independent mantra, knowing that that's not what you want. You don't want to be single independent. You want to be booed up. You know, and that's another thing that we, you know, parade as if these things aren't hurtful. And that's ridiculous. Because there's definitely, I mean, when I see sometimes these sisters get degraded by, you know, grown Black men, I think it's horrible. I think it's just pitiful. And I think, wow, the venom that is inside that man towards, you know, his own counterparts is dangerous, you know. And this will contribute to the self-destruction of our people if we can't get it under control. You know, period, point blank. And I also want to remind you guys, the world is watching us. The world is watching the diaspora to see how they navigate life. We've been under really stressful pretenses. We can do something different here on the continent and turn things around, but we've got to deal with the detrimental things that we're doing that is adding to, you know, the destruction of our community. So big shout out to African Superstar family. Yes, guys. Big shout outs. I think Hazel said that she donated to Lady Visionary. Big shout outs to Hazel. Big shout outs. I know several of you have also gone over. The link is there if you want to support Lady Visionary. I'll be helping to promote it throughout the remainder of this upcoming week to try to help her reach her goal. I recently traveled to the UK. It was so expensive. So I kind of know what she's going through. Plus she has to travel with, you know, her family and she has to do hotel quarantine, which I didn't have to do. So it's costly. So we can definitely do what we can to help support. I appreciate you guys for watching this broadcast with me. Until we meet again, stay black and true. If you ain't black, just stay true.